The third season of The Celebrity Apprentice Australia began airing on the 30th of April 2013 on the 9 network. The series was announced following the conclusion of the second season in 2012. Mark Bowery's returned as CEO. His boardroom advisors were again Dane Bowery's and Deborah Thomas. The official cast was announced on the Celebrity Apprentice Australia Facebook page on the 30th of January 2013. Olympic gold medal swimmer Stephanie Rice was the winner this season, beating out Olympic sprinter John Stephenson, PR representative Roxy Jasenko, and retired boxer Jeff Fenech. Candidates. The following candidates are in the running to become the Celebrity Apprentice. The cast number has increased to 14, 2 more than the previous seasons. Weekly results. The candidate was on the losing team. The candidate won the competition and was named the Celebrity Apprentice. The candidate won as project manager on his/her team. The candidate lost as project manager on his/her team. The candidate was brought to the final boardroom. The candidate was fired. The candidate lost as project manager and was fired. Tasks. Unlike last season, the show only airs 1 episode per week, on Tuesdays, consisting of both the task and the boardroom. Task 1. Air date: the 30th of April 2013. Supreme's project manager, Dawn Fraser. Fabulous project manager, Jeff Fenech. Task: to run a fish and chip shop, including skinning and gutting their own fish, and making their own chips from scratch. Winning team, Fabulous. Reasons for victory. The men, while having horrible team communication, eventually came out on top due to having received much larger donations from their connections. Losing team, Supreme. Reasons for loss. Despite having many more people visit their fish and chip store, the girls failed to bring in big donors and focused more on the public customers. Another problem was that Layla and Prinny, who were assigned to cooking, focused solely on that and raised $165 and $2,000, $3,000 respectively. Sent to boardroom. No final boardroom. Fired. Prinny Stevens, for focusing too much on the cooking of the food and not the bigger picture, which was focusing on getting the big donors in. Notes. At the very start of the task, both teams were asked to line themselves up in order of most to least famous, with Jeff and Dawn being most famous on each team. They were then made project managers. Jeff Fenech initially won $199, $200 for his charity, but asked for $20,000 to go to Dawn Fraser's charity. Throughout the task, Prue had problems with Roxy, and in the final boardroom was targeted by the whole team. Despite being very close to being fired, she was given another chance. A representative from Women's Day magazine and special guest in the original Celebrity Apprentice winner Julia Morris visited both shops and awarded the team with the best service with $5,000. This went to the men's team. Upon testing out the women's team, there was a hair found in Julia's chip. This was a large part of the reason why the men won the donation. Task 2. Air date: the 7th of May 2013. Supreme's project manager, Roxy Jasenko. Fabulous project manager, Peter Berner. Task: teams must create a consumer promotion event that promotes the new range of Arnott's Tim Tam treat packs. Winning team, Supreme. Reasons for victory. The girls didn't focus on the brand slogan, "Love More Than One." However, their event was extremely sophisticated and they were able to pull in a bigger crowd for a longer amount of time. Losing team, Fabulous. Reasons for loss. While a rep from the Arnott's company thought that they had created a fantastic concept and great branding along with their jingle, they didn't make Tim Tam feel special. Sent to boardroom, Peter Berner. Jeff Fenech. Peter Everett. Fired. Peter Berner, unable to control his team and utilize the effectiveness of each team member, and was ultimately culpable for the team's loss as project manager. Notes: Roxy and Prue yet again were fighting and yelling at each other for the whole task. Roxy won $40,000 for her charity. Task 3. Air date: the 14th of May 2013. Team reshuffle: Prue and Dawn moved to Fabulous. Rob and John moved to Supreme. This leads to a young versus old battle, as the two teams are determined based on age. Supreme are the team of young players, all under 40, and Fabulous the team of old players, all over 40. Supreme's project manager: Stephanie Rice. Fabulous project manager: Prue McSween. Task: each team must create a photo exhibition that tells a personal story of one person on their team. Winning team: Supreme. Reasons for victory: Jason McLean from Canon thought that the team worked well all night, were relatively on brief, and loved the emotion in the shots. Losing team: Fabulous. Reasons for loss: while Jason McLean from Canon thought that their pictures were very gritty and very powerful, he felt that there could have been more emotion and color in the pictures instead of black and white. Center boardroom: Prue McSween. Dermot Brereton. Brian Mannix. Fired: Brian Mannix, for failing to raise sufficient funds for his team, and conceding that Brereton would have more capability in fundraising in future tasks. Notes: Team Supreme focused on the story of how John Stephenson was inspired by his father to be an Olympic runner, while Team Fabulous focused on the story of Jeff Fennick, who as a young child grew up in gang violence and was even incarcerated at one point, which led him to become a world boxing champion. Stephanie and Rob were seen having a possible secret romance between them. Roxy, for the third task in a row, has problems with one or more of her teammates. This time John, and more notably Stephanie, with whom she got into a verbal disagreement with over being respectful and listening to teammates' ideas. Roxy then stormed off set and was talking about leaving the show. However, after a short civil chat with Stephanie, returned and continued on. In the boardroom, Jeff said that he believed for the second fundraising task in a row, people were holding back with their donors and waiting until they themselves were project managers, so they could win. Then Jeff got into a disagreement with John. After a few words back and forth, Jeff yelled, "I'm fired," and stormed out of the boardroom and walked off set. Mr. Boweries allowed John to go out and talk with Jeff. During this time they settled their difference and both returned. Dawn Fraser was absent for the boardroom due to a pre-planned surgery. John and Roxy raised the most for this task, $30,000 and $26,000 respectively. Team Supreme received a $40,000 cash bonus from Canon. Stephanie handed over $50,000 from her total winning amount to Prue's charity. Task 4. Air date: the 21st of May 2013. Supreme's project manager: Kim Johnson. Fabulous project manager: Rob Mills. Task: to create a 90-second commercial for the Yellow Brick Road Retire Right campaign. They will perform their commercial live to a stadium of 14,000 people at a halftime Sydney rugby game. Teams will be judged on how they convey the key messages in the most entertaining, educational and creative manner, and how they produce the most appealing and creative advertising materials. Winning team: Fabulous. Reasons for victory: their presentation was more direct and planned. The message was also conveyed in a more creative way. Losing team: Supreme. Reasons for loss: though their presentation showed promise after their poor rehearsal at the stadium, Supreme failed to establish the point of the retirement fund message and verify a connection to the audience with their performance. Center boardroom: Kim Johnson. Roxy Jasenko. Layla Subritsky. Fired: Kim Johnson. She was the project manager and caused the presentation last minute. Unplanned. Notes. Team Supreme's project manager, Kim, being a dancer herself, decided to make everyone in the team dance. This was changed last minute and caused a very unplanned presentation. Roxy spoke too quickly during their presentation, cutting off Stephanie's line completely. She defended herself in the boardroom, blaming this on the project manager and saying that she would be the one who should have fixed things up, and also saying that what she did would not have affected anything. Peter was seen trying to speak up. He did so, and caused quite a bit of tension and argument in Team Fabulous, as the others did not agree with his approach to things. He was also upset at not having a major role for the presentation, but in the end actually did receive a bigger role. Task 5. Air date: the 28th of May 2013. Supreme's project manager, Layla Subritsky. Fabulous project manager, John Stephenson. Task: to create a presentation for the BlackBerry smartphone, and to present them at a light show at Hyde Park Barracks. Winning team, Fabulous. Reasons for victory: there was good use of the team's celebrities in the light show and the BlackBerry executives were impressed with the high level of the presentation. The only problem was the live introduction on the night. Losing team, Supreme. Reasons for loss: although it was also impressive with a wide range of colors used in the light show, the BlackBerry executives believed that it was not as good as the other teams. Also, the dances used could have disturbed the actual show itself. Center boardroom, Layla Subritsky. Peter Everett. Rob Mills. Fired. Rob Mills, for not giving his all in the task, and failing to give sufficient reasons to remain over Peter in the boardroom. Notes. The executives for the task were highly impressed with both teams, and raised the winner's check by a substantial amount. Mr. Voorhees decided to split the money between the team's project manager, $40,000 for the winner, and $5,000 for the loser. Dawn accused Stephanie of having not respected her in the boardroom. Prue took Stephanie's side and defended her. Stephanie cried, and felt so emotional she had to leave the boardroom. Roxy was evidently seen as the one taking over the project manager role in Team Supreme. Mr. Voorhees could see this, and questioned Rob, who was the project manager, repeatedly. Task 6. Air date: the 4th of June 2013. Supreme's project manager, Dermot Brereton. Fabulous project manager, Peter Everett. Task: celebrities will run a laundry. They must dry clean, wash, steam, press and hand wash the laundry. Additionally, they will offer their services to the public, their friends, and their sponsors. The team that makes the most money will win the task. Winning team, Supreme. Reasons for victory: the team managed to gather over $200,000 from contacts. Losing team, Fabulous. Reasons for loss: even with the $100,000 donation from Ozzy the team couldn't raise more than Fabulous. Center boardroom, Peter Everett. Roxy Jasenko. Dawn Fraser. Fired. Peter Everett, raising the least amount of money, not working hard as project manager, and losing respect from his teammates for his poor efforts before and during the task. Notes. One of the customers that Roxy brought in for her team went to the wrong counter and earned the other team $1,000. Roxy was not happy with this and decided to call her client to fire the customer, as he was not taking it seriously and ignored Roxy. Roxy was dominating and made attacks to her project manager. The camera used for the record $100,000 by Team Fabulous was taken by Jeff, and he was accused to have bad intentions of deleting the photos taken. The camera was also missing a certain function which without would have not allowed the photos to be printed, and Jeff was blamed to have stolen it. Dermot decided to donate 10% of his earnings to Peter's charity, $32,743. In this task set were 2 Celebrity Apprentice Australia records. The largest individual donation ever, $100,000 from Aussie Bum, and the largest total funds raised in a challenge, $327,431. Task 7. Air date: the 11th of June 2013. Supreme's project manager, Dawn Fraser. Fabulous project manager, Jeff Fenwick. Task: the celebrities will create a 30-second web promo to help launch the new product for the Heinz soup range called Soup of the Day. They will present the promo to Heinz representatives at a special screening. Winning team: Supreme. Reasons for victory: Brent, a representative from Heinz, thought that the brand could have featured a little bit stronger within the promo, but loved their slogan, fresh look. Old favorite. Losing team: Fabulous. Reasons for loss: Brent was very concerned about the tone of their promo, based on 50 Shades of Grey, and whether it was indeed family-friendly. He also thought it was a little bit controversial for such a brand. Sent to boardroom: Jeff Fenwick. Layla Subritsky. Dermot Brereton. Fired: Dermot Brereton. Layla Subritsky. Dermot for getting carried away with the theme of the promo and not discussing it with the team. Layla because Mr. Boweries felt Jeff had more to give in the next few challenges. Notes: this episode featured a double elimination. Prue and Roxy were arguing throughout the entire episode, with Dawn and Jeff as project managers. This was the second time in which they have faced off in the series. After Task 1, where Jeff beat Dawn, Dawn received $40,000 for her charity from Heinz. Task 8. Air date: the 18th of June 2013. Supreme's project manager: none. Fabulous project manager: none. Task: teams must make over a teens crisis center, the Don Bosco House, for CEO of Youth Off the Street's Father Chris Riley in just 24 hours. They will be judged on certain areas of the house. Team Fabulous will work on the front office, the entertainment room and an outdoor gym, while Team Supreme will be judged on the back garden, the dining room and the lounge. Winning team: Fabulous. Reasons for victory: the 3 rooms were refurbished well, but the most important facet of victory was the team's cohesiveness. Losing team: Supreme. Reasons for loss: the team did not work as well together as Fabulous, and were frequently at odds with Fabulous. Sent to boardroom: Stephanie Rice. Prue McSween. Dawn Fraser. Fired: Prue McSween. Dawn Fraser. Prue for her constant arguing with Roxy. Dawn because Mr. Boweries felt as though the younger Stephanie should advance ahead of the older Dawn. Notes: this episode featured a double elimination. This task there were no project managers. However, Roxy assigned herself the team coordinator early on. This task teams decided they should work together to achieve a happy ending for such a great cause. This includes Prue and Roxy, who have been rivals since the very first task. They decided to stop their bickering and fighting to help a worthy cause, but only ended up bickering again just 2 minutes later. They did, however, assist each other throughout the task despite being on separate teams. Prue later stated in the boardroom she felt very bad about an altercation they had. The teams received assistance from former Celebrity Apprentice contestants. Warwick Capper and Patty Newton assisted Fabulous, and Max Markson and Nathan Joliffe assisted Supreme. Task 9. Finale. Air date: the 25th of June 2013. Team Supreme: Stephanie Rice. Jeff Fenwick. Team Fabulous: Roxy Jasenko. John Stephenson. Task: an extension of the previous task. The teams are tasked with creating a wall of support for the children and young men and women of Don Bosco House. and present them to an audience. Fired: Jeff Fennick, Roxy Jasenko, John Stephenson. Celebrity Apprentice: Stephanie Rice. Notes: Stephanie donated $40,000 to the charities of those who had not won money for their charity, $10,000 each to the individual charities of Prinnie Stevens, Peter Berner, Brian Mannix and Kim Johnson. Ratings: